Hey everybody, Josh Rimini here, Founder, Chief Wellness Officer here at Dilworth Drug and Wellness, and today's video is a deep dive on magnesium and how it relates to being on medication that rob the body of magnesium specifically. So I've talked in the past about this concept of drugs robbing the body of specific nutrients, and a big one for me is magnesium. Why so? Well, for one, I think it's a big nutritional deficiency just in general. If you don't take medications, we still find that about 80% of people need to supplement with magnesium. I've always talked about it as one of my top 5 supplements everybody needs. But what happens if you're already deficient and then you're taking a medication that depletes the body of absorbing magnesium from your diet? And all of a sudden we have a bigger problem here, right? That bigger problem is I'm deficient in my diet, and now my diet can't absorb all that magnesium, and all of a sudden I'm very magnesium deficient. And so we can survive on deficiency, but can we really thrive on deficiency? No. So magnesium in itself is really important to have good levels of, because what is magnesium good for? Well, 300 to 400 reactions in our body are dependent on this one micronutrient. I call it a macro because it's a micronutrient. It's magnesium. It's an element, right? It's a mineral, but it's a macro because it's so important. It's one of those things like calcium. We always know calcium's important, but magnesium gets forgotten. So if you're on medications like acid blockers are a really big category for magnesium absorption. So if we don't absorb magnesium and it becomes deficient, what happens down the road, especially as we take drugs daily and those things become chronic medications, because sometimes these medications are being used chronically, right? We have acid reflux, we've been taking a medication for years, and all of a sudden the long-term effects of that are, what if I'm not sleeping good, or what if my mood is off, or what if I have anxiety, or what if I have muscle pain or weakness or cramps or restless leg, you name it. A lot of these chronic conditions people have are really somewhat associated with the deficiency of a mineral per se, in this case magnesium. So if we identify the patient who takes a specific medication, and then we identify the nutrient depletions that are backed by science, by the way. All of this is in the research. We just have to identify it through a personalized approach. We've identified a magnesium deficiency, and the easiest way to solve the problem is to replete it with the right amounts and the right kind of magnesium, because not all magnesium is the same. We use really highly absorbable versions at Dilworth that are not stimulating to the gut and that really absorb into the body and work the way that they should. I can test for this stuff, but because I've seen this so much and so much in our patients, that the first thing we do is why test if we just recommend the product and they get better? Then we validated why they needed it anyway. So we can certainly test you. It's just an extra step, and it's also more expensive. Instead of saying, well, it makes the best sense for me to give you this product at this dose, and let's see what happens, and I always say, let science take over, let biochemistry take over. Your body wants to go back to some level of normalcy. So in a good way, we say, take this, follow up with me, and guess what? More often than not, my patients are reporting better symptoms of better sleep, better mood, better muscle, less muscle aches, less muscle pain. All those things can be solved, because if you're repleting the body of something that needs 300 chemical reactions, well, what happens when your body's running on much better octane, much better fuel? So if we got 300 reactions working more efficiently in your body, a lot of things are going to make sense. So that's our talk on magnesium. Again, you might be taking medications that are depleting your body. So what's the first step is to recognize what medications deplete what, and then coming up with a practical turnstile key way to do it. That's going to be simple, easy to follow. And then we monitor for the symptoms and making sure all those things are taken care of. So I hope you thought this video was important and valuable to you. So if you like this kind of style video, these health topics that we're creating here at Dilworth, just subscribe to our channel, subscribe to our email list, because these are how we get things out these days. And just remember, live better, stay well.